Hey everyone, welcome back to the Not As I Do podcast with me, Tanaye White. Happy holidays and also Happy New Year. We're just a few days away from 2025, and I know there's a lot of angst, a lot of nerves going into this new year. There are going to be a lot of changes happening across the world, and I just wanted to send love and light to all of you who are listening because I get it. And I have been inundated with lots of negativity, as I mentioned in my last episode. But at the end of the day, I know that the positivity of my future lies in my own hands. And so I choose to only manifest positivity and light, and I wish the same for you all. I also wanted to thank you guys for sticking with me on this journey. I know I've been a little bit inconsistent with posting. It has not been easy for me. I have a lot of projects going on at the same time. I took some time off. I had a few rest days, and now I'm revived, and I'm in the place where I should have been when I started this podcast. So I thank you all for giving me grace, patience, all the things. It really means a lot, and I know that as time goes on, this podcast will improve, the sound will improve, the visuals will improve. So again, I just thank you guys for riding with me on this journey. I also wanted to send love and light to people who have a tough time around the holidays, whether it be due to family challenges, maybe loss around this time. I know the holidays is not a cheery, happy-go-lucky moment for everybody. And so just know that I'm thinking of you. You're not alone. And if you ever need help, feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to share resources that have helped me through dark times. But also don't forget to lean on your loved ones. They're here for you. They love you. And as difficult as this time may be, I really wish you the most joyous holidays that you can have possible and a new year. Okay, now let's get started. So for today's vibe check, we're actually going to focus on music, more specifically the quality of music and how it's gone down tremendously over the last 50 or so years, if not even less. This vibe check was inspired by a song that played on my Spotify playlist. Spotify is amazing. They take your listening history and determine what songs you may enjoy next. Surprise, surprise, I was listening to this hip-hop playlist on Spotify, and they had this one song by NLE Choppa. NLE Choppa is a very young rapper, and I don't know much about him. To be very honest, I don't know much about rap nowadays. I like more of the classics from the 2000s like Lupe, old Kanye, Nas, all those things. So it's unsurprising for me to be shocked by the song that was playing through my speakers the other week. It took me by surprise because at first I was like, wow, this is a great beat. Yeah. Like those beats that I would work out at the gym with, go rock climbing with, something like that. But then I started recognizing the words. And I'm not one to judge when it comes to the music that we like. Some songs we like the beat, but we hate the lyrics. Other songs we love the lyrics, we're not a fan of the beat. This one falls into the former, not the latter. The beat is great. I will say the beat. Whoever is the producer, the beat is great. So I'm not shading the beat. And I'm not even shading NLE Choppa. To be very specific, I'm shading the music industry as a whole because it's not just Choppa who's rapping lyrics like this. It's a phenomenon of rape culture, abusive language, aggressive, violent language. It's actually quite horrifying. And I'm really trying to understand how this made it out the booth. How did we get here? And on top of that, I go to the sound on TikTok, and the sound has thousands and thousands of videos of people dancing to it. Now, again, I get it. They're probably just focused on the beat, but the words are something that you cannot overlook. Let me just read a few to you. This is the song Gang Baby by NLE Choppa. Here are some of the lyrics. Let me fuck some. I'm in heat. Come on. Hold up. I'm trying to fuck some. In heat, bitch. Let me bust one. Rolls truck, filled with new sluts. Swallow my nuts. Give a bitch bubble guts. Let me come snatch that lace hoe. Her booty softer than Play-Doh. Her pussy feel like it's silly putty. My thumb always in her a-hole, yeah. Fuck me with your friend. That's a trio. I can't! Who came up with these lyrics, bruh? Oh, God. Okay. I'm not done. That's not even the tip of the iceberg. Wait for it. Let me do some more. My white hoe love her Negro. Sloppy seconds give my sloppy toppy, but my top hoe got a stupid body. Bitch asked me my body count. I'm a street nigga. Better be specific. Talking about the pussy I'm getting or the niggas in the streets we killin'. And this is the chorus. This is the chorus, okay? If that ass fat, better shake that shit. Okay. I don't mind, people talking about shaking booty. Okay, fine. Put a hand up if you take dick. Keep shit pee. I'll never be a trick. Even though it sounds like he is if he has a rolls full of sluts. But the way she fuck make me spend that shit. Again, so yeah, you are a trick. Cinderella, she gon' twirl. Now why they gotta bring a Disney character into this mess? Grown ass bitch, no lil girl shit. Well, I'm glad that that's clear, given all the things and the craziness we've seen and been abreast of in this last year in the music industry. She told you she's celibate, but she told me I can nail her shit. One of the lines that really pissed me off when I heard this song, and I immediately had to change the song, Black Lives Matter, but I love to kill my dark bitch from the back. I don't think I need to read anymore. I think you get my point. I feel like I'm going to sound like my grandmother or even my mother who only listens to older music like from the 60s, 70s, 80s. But is this what our ancestors fought for? I'm really not trying to go there, but honestly, that's the first question that comes to mind. Is this what our ancestors fought for? I'm speechless. I also wanted to bring this song up as a part of the vibe check, not just to call out NLE Choppa and his producers and his management and his record label. Honestly, that's none of my business. Do you, boo? Make that money. But the fact that we're putting out so much low vibrational music is really concerning. And the fact that it's centralized to hip hop culture really is triggering, because hip hop was not supposed to start out that way. It evolved into that. Hip hop used to talk about liberation and freedom and wanting to get out of the hood and to have the best for yourself. Then it came into this woman empowerment era where we see the likes of Queen Latifah, Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, who all, yes, had explicit lyrics, including Biggie and Tupac, but there was still message in it. There was still heart in it. Not every song was explicit, and many of the songs had meaning that people could relate to. But fast forward to today, we don't have much of that. I will say Lil Nas, he has one song that I really liked. Kendrick Lamar is fantastic. J. Cole is fantastic. There's still artists out there who do quality work and only record super quality, high vibrational work. But that's not for every artist. I'm noticing that there is a thread woven of abuse and rape culture into a lot of the mainstream music that we hear on the radio. Prime example, Sexy Red. I could name so many other artists. And it's not about the artists, it's just about the vibrations. The vibrations are so low. A lot of people don't understand that music can impact your mood, it can impact your vibration, it can impact your aura. If all you're ever listening to is aggressive lyrics like this, science shows you're more prone to become a violent or aggressive person. I want the youth to be more aware of what they're digesting through their ears. Yes, we can digest things through our mouths, but we also digest things through all of our other senses too. Touch, sight, sound. Music is really important, and music has a significant impact on your emotions, your feelings of yourself, your feelings of your life, your world. And As much as these songs may be catchy and funny, I'm sure people listen to this song and think nothing of it. They think it's not that serious. Everything is serious because everything still has an impact. Even if you may find it funny, those lyrics, those songs do have a trickle effect. It's really sad to see how music has been so over-sexualized and just stuffed with violence and aggression and abuse. And I really don't even want to get into the conversation of how they portray Black women in music and music videos. But it's just really concerning that these are the songs that our youth are listening to today. The same youth who are 3 reading levels behind. The same youth who are having emotional outbursts when their phones are taken away. When you mix all of these different layers of what's happening in our world today, the music that we listen to, while it seems like a small thread, it actually leads to a significant impact on the bigger picture. I found it funny. I honestly thought I was like listening to a parody song when I first heard it playing, but then I saw that, oh no, this is actually a part of his album. And again, no shade to NLE Choppa. I don't know much about that young man, but I just want us to think about who we're choosing to listen to, who we're choosing to give our time and money and ears to. I also want artists to be more cognizant of the work that they're putting out there. Is this something you want to be known for when you're 60 years old? I'm sure he's only like, 20 something now. But like, is this the legacy that you really want to leave? It's kind of embarrassing. And I know we all go through our evolution. We see it with like Disney stars all the time. They start off with like the cutesy, kid-like music, giving kids bops vibes. Then they have their breakout where they have to like over-sexualize themselves to break out of this kitty-like character. We've seen it with Miley Cyrus. We've seen it with Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, even Justin Timberlake. And then once they hit that like extreme peak, they sort of settle down into their flow. I'm not sure with this song and the artists who put out music like this that there's ever going to be a settle down into normalcy. I think that this peak of aggression and violence and nasty, atrocious lyrics are the normalcy for them. And it's not even truly the fault of the artists. It's also the fault of the producers, the record labels who put so much money behind this music to ensure that people listen to it and digest it. It's concerning. And it makes me think of what's the bigger picture here? What's the goal? I'm not trying to get too deep into red pill, blue pill. It's just something that I've made note of. And especially when I listen to playlists on Spotify that are geared towards hip hop, rap, even certain forms of R&B, it's really concerning to listen to these songs and see that there's more songs about sex and aggression and money than there is about love and positivity and aspirations and goodness. And I feel like right now it's sort of out of balance. The industry seems out of balance. I would love to have more artists come to fame who share more positive lyrics. And I know that's a big ask because it seems like all money is behind sex and sex culture. But I think, especially given the year we're about to head into, it's time for a change. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. All right, let's jump into the Fact or Feeling segment where we unpack unpopular beliefs and determine if they are backed in research or just simply a vibe and a feeling. Today, we're talking about the link between music and mental health. You know the drill, fact or feeling, so let's get into it. Fact or feeling. Listening to upbeat music can make you feel happier and help with depression. Ding, ding, ding! That's a fact. According to Psychology Today, music can release the feel-good feeling known as dopamine, which can actually make you feel better. Dopamine is called the feel-good hormone for a reason, and it's actually one of the reasons why I started the Feel Good Fridays movement and the Feel Good Friday playlist. Check it out on my Spotify if you want to listen. But yes, music does have the power to improve your mood, especially when it comes to depression. Take it from me. Next up. Music with violent or degrading lyrics can lead to aggressive behavior, especially in younger folks. Unfortunately, that is another fact. Research shows that the messages that we hear repeatedly can impact our mood, regardless if we are aware of it or not. So maybe save the murder beats for gym day. Here's a fun one. Low frequency music, think heavy bass, can actually cause stress or anxiety, while high frequency tunes like classical or nature sounds can calm you down. Sounds wild, but it's actually true. So maybe consider trading those late night heavy metal sessions for some lo-fi beats instead. I'm sure it'll help you sleep better at night. And did you know that different genres impact your brain differently? For example, classical music, shout out to Beethoven, love, can enhance your cognitive performance, while other genres like heavy metal might hype up your adrenaline. Moral of the story? Your music playlists aren't just for entertainment. They're actually low-key brain food. And last but not least, sound therapy and binaural beats are legit tools for stress relief and mental clarity. Fact! So if you haven't tried those YouTube meditation playlists, what are you waiting for? I use them to start my day and it's made a world of a difference. Also, I love sound baths. I play them every morning to start my day, and it's really transformed how I feel about myself and how I feel about each day. And I highly recommend anyone try it. Give it a week or two, and I promise you'll feel so much better. So there you have it. Music isn't just background noise. It's actively influencing your mental health. So next time you hit play, think about what vibe you're inviting into your life. And remember, the vibes do not lie. So yes, we are on this music wave right now. In this episode, I really wanted to talk about how music has really saved my life. For those of you who don't know, just a little background about me, I started experiencing symptoms of depression when I was around 12 years old, and I've experienced that for the remainder of my life up until today. While I have overcome a lot of the challenges that I've had in overcoming depression, anxieties, and really deep, dark bouts of sadness, music has always been a saving grace for me. I can remember growing up as a kid and loving pop music. It made me feel happy. It sort of matched the high energy that I had as a kid. I was bouncing off the walls, doing backflips off of staircases, you name it. It's one of the reasons why my parents ensured that I was in sports, because I had so much energy. But then as I slowly grew up and started feeling more sad, I recognized that I gravitated more to artists who put out music that sort of made my heart feel seen and my brain feel seen. I want to say between the ages of 13 through 18, I would go to bed every night with my iPod Nano, and I would just listen to certain playlists that I'd curate. Some of my favorite artists were Coldplay, Radiohead, The Hush Sound, Beyonce, of course. Who else did I love? Mika, Imogen Heap. Who else? Lupe Fiasco, Kanye West. Who else? I have my iPod Nano too. I actually still have my iPod Nano. I should bring it up, but I don't have the charger for it, so that might be a little difficult. But there were a lot of artists who, through their music, helped me get through my days. I would often cry myself to sleep, or when it was late at night and I thought my parents were up and my little brother wasn't up, I would sing the lyrics, and Lord knows I'm not the best singer, but even singing those lyrics really helped me to feel and move through those emotions of sadness that I was feeling. One of my favorite songs that still hit me in the same way it did 2 decades ago is the song Speed of Sound by Coldplay. To be very honest with you, I had no idea what those lyrics were when I was growing up. It didn't really make too much sense to me. It was a little bit abstract, but it's the power of Chris Martin's voice and the melody of the instrumental that just hit my brain and my heart in a way where I felt seen. And I would remember it coming randomly on the radio one late night when I was in the back seat of my parents' car while they were driving, and I just silently cried to myself in the back seat. It's something that you can't really put into words. It's just, especially when you were in a situation like me where I felt unseen, unheard, hopeless, and very much confused. It was the only answer I really had. It was the only way I knew that I wasn't crazy, that I wasn't wrong for feeling the way I felt. Songs like that confirmed to me that my feelings are real, because if an artist has the ability to create art that is relatable to me, then that means to me that artist probably has gone through tough times like I have. And so those were the small semblances of hope that I had for myself for the situations that I was in at the time. And it really made a big difference in how I got through my days. If it wasn't for me having my iPod Nano and my thousands of songs on it, I really can't say that I would be here. I really have to give it up to a few people, a few things, but music really, really saved my life. And I'm sure you guys can probably relate to what I'm saying. It's just something, it's like this unspoken understanding when you hear a song, whether it be for the first time or for the 50th time. And it just hits you in a way where it just becomes your favorite song of all time. Speed of Sound is still one of my favorite songs of all time, despite me learning about new artists, new genres. Amapiano is my wave right now. If you know, you know. But even then so, I can still immediately say Coldplay is my favorite artist of all time. They were actually so significant to my survival in my teen years that when I was around 24, I took a solo trip to Philadelphia to see them for their Head Full of Dreams tour. And I went by myself. I spent the entire day in Philadelphia. It's one of my first solo trips I've ever done. And there was a woman sitting right next to me who also was doing a solo trip. And we sort of bonded over why we decided to take this moment solo to experience the artists who helped us to survive and get where we were at that moment. And it was really beautiful to know that Coldplay has helped me as well as others in the same way. It's always a beautiful feeling to feel seen, even if you don't know the artist personally. It's just something about music that really can save. I think people have said before that music saves souls, and I truly believe it. I'd even go as far as to share a memory that I had about a month ago. I was at church. I was really stressed out at the time. I typically go to church by myself. I love my church home. I got there a little late. I had to figure out a spot to sit. And when I sat next to this woman who, while we were singing some of the gospels in church, I noticed her sniffling, and then I took a look over to my right to notice that she was actually crying. The music was moving her in such a beautiful way. It was also moving me in such a beautiful way. Music just has such a way of making you feel understood. And when I heard her sniffle, I had assumed why she was sniffling. I didn't think it was she was sick. I really thought it was like she's feeling something. And we both felt so empowered by this uplifting music. And I looked at her, and her hands were out, and my hands were out, and I grabbed her hand, and for the remainder of the song, we held our hands together, and we cried. And we hugged each other. At the end of the song, we sat down, and she said, "Thank you." But I don't think I would have grabbed her hand if it had not been for the fact that I felt her energy, because I was feeling that same energy too. I do my best not to interrupt people when they're in their own moment, but it was such a beautiful moment. And when we locked hands, it just made sense. That's just another example of how music really saves and heals and connects. It creates bonding moments like that. Another moment I wanted to share is actually my diary from my childhood. I've had this diary forever. I think I started writing in it in middle school. It doesn't look like a diary. It's actually a binder with a bunch of loose leaf paper inside. But I have years and years of recorded memories. And what's something that I find to be really cute and beautiful is the fact that after every entry that I put in my diary, I would end it with a song. So for example, here on February 1st, I believe this is 2009, the song that I ended at the end of one of my entries was Running Away by Hoobastank. If you know, you know. Other songs I've included in here is When I Grow Up by the Pussycat Dolls. I guess I was having an empowering day that day. Another song was The Kill by 30 Seconds to Mars. Still one of my favorite songs to this day. Reckoner by Radiohead. Radiohead is probably one of my favorite bands of all time. I can't verbalize how powerful radio's music is to a person with a broken heart or a darkened spirit. I remember my best friend in high school put me onto it. His name is Besnick. Hey, Besnick! He put me onto it, and at first I was like, what are they even talking about? What is this? And I just let the music play as I was like editing or whatever I was on the computer. And one of the songs, which is Reckoner, hit me. It hit me so much that I listened to it on repeat for about a week. I kid you not. And I'm sort of like that. Maybe that's a part of my ADHD, but when I have a song that really hits me, I just listen to it on repeat for like the entire day. And that was one of those songs. In fact, there's a lot of songs by Radiohead that I've done that with, and I still do that too to this day. Another example would be Arpeggi, Weird Fishes by Radiohead, another classic love. I remember there was this kid in high school who I had a crush on. I really should not have had a crush on for reasons that I don't want to get into, but I had a crush on him, and he lived down the street from me, and we would sometimes walk to and from school together, and his favorite band was Pink Floyd. And because he loved Pink Floyd, I then started loving Pink Floyd, and I learned to enjoy Stairway to Heaven, even though I didn't like it at first. Things like that. Music just really has the power to change your life, change your feelings, change your perspectives, regardless if you understand the lyrics or not. Like I said, I'm a piano music and South African deep house music. Most of the time, I don't understand the words that they're saying, but the music, the feeling that it creates, I understand that. And I think that's most important. But then when we talk about songs like Gang Baby, which I just recited in the vibe check, I recognize that power too. Because sometimes you just want to be a little loose and a little crazy and a little wild, regardless of the fact that they're saying words that are just completely atrocious. Even then, that has great power. When I work out, I love to listen to heavy metal. When I'm studying, I love to listen to deep house or classical music. I love Yo-Yo Ma. I love Beethoven. Those are two of my favorite classical artists. When I would be working out for track, back in the day when I did collegiate track, I would listen to hip hop and EDM music to get me hyped, to get me amped. And then when I was feeling really anxious, I would lean into gospel music as well. Everyone knew not to speak to me because I was so anxious and so nervous to perform well, especially because I had so many injuries. I would just sit in the corner, sit in the seat on the bus, put my headphones in, and just listen to the gospel music and stay positive, manifest positive energy, say positive sayings. You can do this. You got this. Smile. You got it. Focus. Remember what your coach said. Blah, blah, blah. I would just be in the zone. And that really helped me too. It helped me with my nerves. Music really has the power to transform. Music has the power to save, as I said before. And it's just really significant. It's really beautiful. But with that being said, I also wanted to highlight how much sad music or angry music or happy music can also impact you. I do think one of my regrets as a kid in those sad times was listening to maybe too much sad music. No, I don't even want to say I regretted it. I don't want to say that because I don't regret it at all. But I did listen to happy music as well. I don't want to make that, I do want to make that distinction. I had a lot of happy music and sad music, but I think that when you're sad, feeling understood through other sad songs is important and it's good. I think that's healthy and healing. But at some point, I think that you should be making a conscious effort to listen to music that's more uplifting. As we talked about earlier, music really does have the power to change your attitude towards yourself, towards others. It has the ability to change your mood, how you feel. Just as we eat food, we digest our sound. We digest everything. Notice how you feel when you're in a city compared to when you're on the countryside. How does your body feel? Do you feel anxious, uptight? Are your muscles more relaxed? I notice that anytime I'm at the beach or in warm weather, I feel so much more comfortable than I would if I'm in a busy, noisy city like New York City, like I am right now. It's those little nuances that you should make note of as you go through these feelings, as you listen to music. It really has the power to change you. I think it all just really comes down to balance. There's no problem with listening to a good hood anthem every once in a while. But I think when it comes to balancing out your spirit and your energy, it's always important to listen to more uplifting music. Think about how many songs off the top of your head, what let's just take a second and I want to ask you what comes to mind when I ask you to think of a positive and uplifting song that you love and that you would consider playing right now. If there's a song that came to mind, I love that for you. If you spent the last couple of seconds struggling to find that song, I would encourage you to start making a more conscious effort to listen to more uplifting music. It should be at the top of your mind just as much as Sexy Red is at the top of your mind, Glorilla is at the top of your mind, NLE Choppa is at the top of your mind, Drake is at the top of your mind. It's important to have a balance of the music that you're listening to. And as, like I said before, our music gets more gritty and disturbing, I think we should all do better to place our listening ears where they are most loved. Not all music is great, as we know, but the music industry can change with how we react to it. If we can condemn a certain type of music, they're not going to profit from it, and then they'll stop playing it. Music has been so significant to me. I even played an instrument at one time when I was a kid in third grade. I played the cello. The cello was just as big as me, and I hated it. I wanted to play the violin, but all the violin positions were taken. But even then, I still was able to find appreciation in the art of music and creating it too. So whether it be you listening to a sound bath or listening to instrumental drums, or you just rocking out to a EDM anthem, just remember that everything that you are listening to has the ability to impact you for better or for worse. And it's up to you to make that decision of how you want to feel and the power you're giving to music to allow it to change you and impact your life, your spirit, your aura, your mood. This is a bit of a shorter deep dive just because it's the holidays, but I would love to know what music, songs, or artists have helped change your perspective on life for the better. I named a few of mine. I would love to know who saved you. That's the deep dive. All right, as we close out this episode, I want to leave you guys with a mindful mantra. This week's mindful mantra is, I choose to fill my life with sounds that uplift, empower, and heal me. I encourage you guys to take inventory of the music that you hold in your phone or on your listening devices. Determine if there's music in there that you favorited or saved that no longer serves you. And I also encourage you to find more music that does serve you. And with that said, I hope you guys have a happy new year. I wish you the best in 2025. I hope that all of your prayers and your wishes come true. I hope that any trials and tribulations that you've experienced in 2024 dissipate with this new year. And I wish you nothing but blessings and love in this new year of life. Love you guys. I'll see you next week. Love you guys. I'll see you next week.